Approval of the agenda, please.
I'll do that.
Thanks, Robin. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Is there any additions anybody has? Seeing none, adoption of the council minutes, August 20th, 24. Any errors or omissions? Bruce? All in favor? Opposed? Variance carried. Okay, we have a delegation at 9:30. We'll talk about a gas line. And now we will have the Fieldman report.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't feel good, I gotta do that.
Okay, good morning, ladies. I'll start off with your report. Anybody have any questions or comments on it?
Did we find anything to kill them weeds?
Oh, the kochia? Yeah, we're absolutely trying, several different products at different locations. So we'll be re-inspecting the places that we've had to retreat just to make sure that we're not letting any resistant locations get away on us. I did see those there, yeah.
So what do you do with the dogs?
So with the dogs, we're fortunate that the town has allowed them to kind of stay there. So they're there at present. We do have had several people come and meet them for potential adoptions. So we are hoping that we'll be able to find them homes sooner than later. We're working on kind of getting some MOUs set up with some other locations, just as there's not always space for long-term care locally here. So we have a first draft from Lloyd, and we're going to kind of see where we can go from there.
Shelby, what did you do for weed binge inspections? Is it all soil samples or did you actually
Oh, sweet for them?
traps? Did you?
We had one trap, and so those were just kind of submitted into the government there, and then otherwise they are the soil samples. So we did sample at the one location that you had requested. So those have been sent off down south. So they take those samples and look for kind of larvae to make a prediction for the following year.
What did you find on the traps?
The traps?
You
I
didn't do the traps?
no. Well, we collect them and then we send them in. Yeah, and then so they'll do kind of their assessment on that one.
Oh, you don't know what's in the traps?
I appreciate all your work at the trail, the walking trail. It looks good, and people have forwarded that they appreciate the crack filling and things.
Good. Yeah, that's good
Yeah.
to hear. That's definitely half, at least half Public Works. So it's a kind of a joint project that we're working on together. So we'll hopefully continue to work on that and keep improving it.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Anything else, girls, you need to follow up with?
Nope. We'll have our hydromulch project upcoming, and that's kind of our last big project of the year. So that should be kind of around the end of the month here that we'll see that happening.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good timing.
Okay, could I get a motion for the,
I will, Bob.
okay, thanks, Richard. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, variance carried. Okay, Northeast Conference, we need a motion for council to attend if you so you wish.
I'll make that, Bob.
Where
Okay.
is it?
It's just MD of Provost is hosting this year, and it'll take place down in Czar, so nice and
Yeah.
close.
Okay, Mike has a motion for council to attend. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, variance carried. Okay, thanks, girls.
Thank you.
Just checking it out.
You've got a new reporter.
We do.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm Joanne McCrory, sorry I'm a bit late.
No worries.
Directionally challenged. This is a bigger place than I thought it was.
Nice to meet you.
Well, welcome, Joanne.
Thank you.
So what are they doing for you? You're like a grader. Oh, okay.
Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Good.
Good, good, good. Glad to hear that.
How was council today?
Excuse me.
Good to hear.
Okay, we have the Public Works Report. Anybody have any questions of our?
So that, scraper that we sent up when we got back, what was the final bill on it, do you remember? Very heavy?
That was for the pin?
It's about 90, what, 70, between 70, you know what that? Haven't got the bill yet.
Oh, I haven't got the bill.
But I know there was, I think what the last, that quote we got was gonna be around 90, it might be.
That is correct, and then we had some welding and machining work that had to be done as well as an
Well,
extra.
wasn't that, because didn't it go in at about 65 and then the extra brought it up to 90?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay,
No, I believe the original quote was in around that 90, and then we had a little extra machining and welding, so,
okay. But it's working?
yes, it is.
Good.
And also took a little longer, right, because they gave us a 3-week, and I think it came back after 5. Because that machine left on LR1 and didn't return until we were completed LR2. And we moved it right up into Range Road 7273 area. That's where it's.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's where it came back and started working, so
Yeah.
it missed all of LR2.
Okay. Anybody got any other questions? Or questions?
We worked with the service board, and we did some work on the walking trail and got rid of some of the vegetation, controlled some of the vegetation, and then we sealed up the walking trail with some crack seal.
I thank Shelby for all your hard work.
Okay.
So pavement repairs, Alberta Pavement Repairs are our crack sealing crew.
Yeah.
They did come in last week and got a day in. This week, they're in a different area, and they're gonna come back next week and get back into it. So hopefully once they return, the weather permits them to complete their work.
So are the dip guys out there?
So Central City Asphalt is setting up their asphalt plant. They started yesterday, working on that today. I think what their plan is, talking with them yesterday, was they're gonna start milling out the culvert dips by Friday or Saturday,
Okay.
and then turn around and start paving here once they get a few milled, and then stay ahead of it and pave behind it.
What did we end up with first?
With the number?
Yeah,
69.
so you took some out.
Nope, actually added one.
That's 100%.
Yeah. 100.05%. I added a,
Okay, dog.
yeah,
I get you.
yeah. And then we had 6 approaches, which right now, like I talked to earlier about, 101 due to where we're sitting at construction, and hopefully if we can get that approach built and ready, we'll get it paved along Central City, still in the area. If not, we can pivot and look at a potentially different strategy for next year. Hopefully, we don't get hit with frost, because that would delay paving with Central City and stuff, but we'll just watch what happens and
Yeah.
do what we can. So,
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I have not so much a question as I would just like your opinion on one thing, and that's the dust controls.
okay.
And normally dust controls I thought were done in July, and we're into the end of September.
Are you talking the oil or the calcium?
The oil.
The oil.
No dust
We've-
controls. Calcium, I believe we've done already.
Yeah, we do calcium, we try and get it started in May, so, you know, May is an interesting month, depending on weather. If we can get started on a few of our jobs in May, dry, heat, so on and so forth, it helps us get ahead of the schedule, but as soon as June, that first week of June, then we start our cementing. Cementing this year started in first week of June, and we rolled that through till the third week of July. And then from there, I know they finished up in Division 7 and they did some dust controls up there. Then they went south to, I believe it's called Austin Acres, and we did that oil in there. And then we had to pivot and do kind of a reclamation on that one oiling job in Division 4. We had to lift it. And I know the crew took a week off, and then they came back. But with that in mind, that we did have some setbacks with the rain and the moisture, and the weather was giving us some grief. We're not necessarily behind, we just didn't get out the door at the same time as we usually do. So,
Is there any way we could change that? In your opinion, to make it?
well, the
Or
cementing
happy
is,
with the September oil?
we usually do September oiling, get in there end of August, beginning of September. It depends how aggressive our road oiling projects are. So this year we have a little bit more of that than we did last year. So, it is a little bit later. We didn't get out the gate as soon as we wanted to weather-wise, but, I feel confident if we can, as long as our weather holds, that we'll get them done. I know we can look at, maybe how much we put on a road oiling map to allow for the road oil dust controls to get done quicker. Another thing we can do too is make sure that we have all our names in, and that could be more on my side of it, making sure I'm talking to you people at the table and getting those names on the list so I can hand them off to the operator. But the fact of the matter is right now we are sitting here on September 17th, and I know there's 2 in Division 3, there's 3 in Division 2, and there's also 2 in your area that need to be done. I think we also have 1 in Division 4. So we do have a few that need to be done before the end of the year.
So, do you use the reclaimer for dust control?
Yes, we do. It can be done with your maintenance operators with the teeth on it, but you get a chunky product. I do like letting my oiling crew guys do it because they do a fine job, and you get a nice product. Usually lasts longer.
Yeah,
too.
I know it lasts longer, but I agree with Bill that, you know, you go all summer with dust, but if you do a good job, you usually don't have to go back the next year. You know, you'll get 2 or 3 years out of a dust control by using the reclaimer versus using the maintenance, but
I mean, if it's a priority and you want your dust control done, I can talk to your division operator and get them set up and you can go do it. The other thing we don't have with division operators, we don't have a packer either, so it's just wheel packed, right?
yeah, I mean, well, before that's what we did, but there's two things that have happened, is the cost of product has tripled
Yep.
since we did it with maintenance. So if we're gonna, I know, I talked to Preston, had the same conversations, if we're gonna do it, spending that much money, we should try to do it the best we can, and that's using the reclaimer and the packers. So, I mean, that's the other side of not using maintenance operators, because we don't have the equipment to send with the maintenance guys. But if council wants to change, then we can probably have some discussions at a planning meeting if you wanna change that process, or, but I do know by using the reclaimer and the packers, my dust controls will probably everybody else's last, you know, 3 years or more before you have to go back and do anything with them, but.
So is there a better way to pack it then? That we're not using?
No, I wouldn't say that. I just, with your maintenance crew out there, I mean, you have 2 graders and no packer, right? Because the packer is working with the other crew. So when we come with our oiling crew, we're set up with the reclaimer and the graders and the packer and the wheel packer as well, the wobblies. So it just, you get a better product. And I mean, the dollars, exactly the dollars you're spending, it just makes more sense. For as far as 2024, yeah, we're September 17th. I do have a few more dust controls of you, and God willing, we get some decent weather, we'll get them done. As far as that, we can definitely talk about it at planning, come up with a better strategy, or just pivot through and make sure as we're coming through these divisions, we get these dust controls done before we go to the next one. We can do that as well. But we should discuss it at a planning level, so we're all on the same page, and
Yeah.
not expecting something different next year when we're out in the field, right? So we all have to be on the same page.
I'm gonna add that. Planning agenda. Okay with taking the planning bill?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, as long as, the only thing that I'm saying is when people phoned me in July to get dust control, I said, yeah, we're gonna get it done. And if I know
I
we're
understand.
not coming till the end of September, then that's fine. I don't.
Yeah, and then you
It
can-
don't matter to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, we're not doing them till the end of September. When I told them July, I think we'll get them done in July normally, and they're not done yet.
Okay, I understand that, yeah, that makes
The
sense.
only thing I want is continuity, just
Yeah.
we do, and we get
Yeah.
it done at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. I agree with you, Bill.
Okay. Any other comments?
Preston, have you talked to Alberta Transportation about that north road 30?
I haven't talked directly with Alberta Transportation, but I had a conversation yesterday with Morrison Hirschfield, Mike Jackson, and I am meeting there this afternoon with their engineer on site to go look at it. So, and the reality is, what they explained to us, they were gonna build opposing approaches on the north side and the south side of the road. Currently, on the south side of the road, we have opposing approaches. On the north side, we do not. What they've done is they've mined out Range Road 30 and used that for fill along Highway 14. And they did say they were gonna do that, but it was more along the lines they were gonna mine out the road through the wet areas. At least that's the way I understood it. What they've done is they've mined out the north side of 30 into the bank and into that little bit of that hill where I originally thought we were gonna build the opposing approaches. And now that option is gone. And what they're doing is mining out the wet areas and filling in where they've taken it out of 30. So I am meeting there this afternoon. I can give you a heads up, Richard, if you'd like to attend that meeting, if you have time. And I do have the drawing that they gave us explaining what they plan to do, and I was gonna show that to the engineer on site. When I did talk to Mike Jackson, he said, yes, that's exactly what we're doing. We're building opposing approaches. But I think they've put themselves in a little bit of a pickle because there's no flat area now to build opposing approaches. And that's what they were trying to explain to me on the phone, but we have to go to site to rectify this. And I don't know about building opposing approaches after they fill in the borrow. It's gonna be probably soft. But we'll see. We can talk about that when we're on site. And it sounds like maybe a little aggressive, but Mike Jackson told me another week and they're done. I guess the paving side, right? So then there'll be signage, probably guardrail, but the road type work, from my understanding, is gonna be wrapped up.
Okay.
So they're not gonna tear the rubber roads out, by the way?
Yeah, no, they're tearing them out. I understand that they're working on it as we are sitting here. So they're pulling the road out and they're hauling it to the north and filling in that borrow. That's what I was told yesterday on the phone. And they were starting on it like today.
Cause they hadn't started on yet,
Oh.
last night.
That's what he told me on the phone yesterday, that's the plan, starting on it. He thought they're probably working on it, but basically what you said,
Cause
they're
there's no
not.
way you could build up that road that high.
Oh, no, they'll probably build a ramp, drive over top of the
They got
14.
the ramps are built, yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's what they're gonna do, yeah.
Okay.
So, and originally, I think what they proposed to us is they were gonna take that out and use that as their fill along Highway 14, which,
Yeah.
they kinda did a
And we're gonna use part of it to do.
sleight of
across
hand.
That slough, aren't you?
Pardon me?
And you're gonna use part of it to raise that slough on the other end?
On the south.
Oh,
end.
we potentially can, yeah, because we got a little room there, Oscar, on the north side of those opposing approaches.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we
'Cause
could do that.
road's too narrow.
But, you know, when we talked about that as well, I don't believe we were presented with the removal of the road from transportation as well. I can't remember, but
Yeah,
yes, we
yeah.
have a little bit there we can work with.
We did know about it, and you wanted to keep from the approach to the intersection, so you could use it to widen that road, and that's what I was asking.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we will do that.
Because he was gonna get a trackhoe and a
Yeah.
dump truck.
Yeah.
Well, we got trackhoe, we just didn't get the dump truck, right?
They make them every day, I'm told.
Okay, anything else? Can I get a motion for Preston's report, please?
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. Okay, Raymond.
A few safety meetings last month here. Went to construction sites, had a nice safety meeting with all the crew on site, talked about weather conditions, toolbox meeting reviews, working around moving equipment. Safety committee took place August 22nd. We reviewed the company safety manual on the section of vehicle equipment maintenance, discussed how practices and procedures are being followed, paperwork being submitted. Looking into some more courses, overhead crane, rigging courses, mainly for our public workshop. The stuff on review training and whatnot. Had another, sorry, my mic is up. Had another staff safety meeting here at the admin building. Discussed, reviewed muster point locations, former hazard assessments. Also discussed about children returning back to school. So the additional traffic commuting back and forth. Management has been participating in cybersecurity training as of recent. A lot of good information on there. September 5th, we were visited by two OH&S officers at the Public Workshop. Myself and the Director of Public Works assisted them by gathering documents and meeting minutes as they checked for compliance. It was pretty good meeting with them. Jumping on to Parks and Rec, our shade shelter has been completed, so that was the final project of this year on my budget items. The remainder of the fertilizing application was applied yesterday. Now we're waiting on fungicide treatment. We have our top dressing material for the greens coming in on the 25th next week. So they'll be jumping on that here the next first couple of weeks of October. And then we have our annual school running Riverdale event taking place Tuesday next week. So just to remind council, if anybody's calling and asking, the back 9 of the golf course will be closed for this track run. And yeah, starting to plan for end of season tasks, going over procedures and talking with the crew, making sure that we're ready to go for next season.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Ray?
Ray, did you, what about the boat launch there? Is that next year's project then?
So we're still waiting on an assessment group to come back. So I've been in communication with Dana, our development officer. We're working somewhat close together, trying to line everything up. As soon as our assessment process is done, we'll go ahead. We'll order the material. I went and touched base with them last week. They are going to commit to the price that they did send us for these blocks, so we're not going to be expecting an increase at all. And then once we have a date confirmed where this assessment group is going to be on site, we'll order our blocks at the same time, and then we'll talk with Public Works and getting some equipment and trying to get it all completed within the day or two out on site.
In your opinion, that it's gonna happen this fall?
It very well can. Now again, if we're looking into October, anywhere mid-October, then it's your guess is as good as mine when it comes to weather. If this assessment and everything else is approved prior to the beginning of October, I don't see why we couldn't get this boat launch completed this year and wrapped up. Again, worst case scenario, if this assessment drags on a little longer than expected, then we're looking at a beginning spring project. But Again, they said that they would honor their prices for May of next year if need be, but I think we should be able to get her in this year still.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm still maybe.
I have just one.
We're ready on our end.
I know it's
Yeah.
frustrating.
Both of you. As far as school bus safety is concerned, where do we stand with Buffalo Trails? Do they actually contact you for bus routes and tell you where they're taking the bus routes? Is there any way we can change those bus routes?
No, they don't contact us directly and give us a bus route. What it is they have a online program called Bus Planner.
Yep.
So for what happens, we need to go into Bus Planner and look at the bus routes ourselves. So, and as far as changing bus routes, I've never really had a lot of luck changing bus routes, unless the road they pick doesn't actually exist and then they change it. But no, I've never really had a lot of luck.
We have run into some stuff, I mean, safety-wise,
Yeah.
as far as construction with the bus roads and
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
road. And now what I'm hearing
That's a
is-
temporary change. They
Yeah,
seem to
no,
accommodate a
that's right.
temporary change, but they don't like to
Yeah.
do much on the long term for permanent.
Permanent,
And then some of the bus roads now, like with the traffic getting faster and busier, some of the doors and the children have to walk around the bus to get to the, like, I just wondered
Mhm.
about,
Yeah.
is that changing that bus route? Is there anything we can do to say, hey, but that's not, I mean, they should know that themselves, that shouldn't have to come to us, but
Yeah.
it isn't.
I think we can strongly suggest they change their bus routes for safety reasons, but outside of that, I think we want to leave it in their hands. It's their expertise, their decisions, not ours. But that's just my opinion.
Okay.
One thing that we do try to do too, as I mentioned in my minutes there, is just remind the staff when that's happening as well. Not necessarily just for the construction areas, but just
Yeah.
keeping a better eyes and ears on the road when that happens.
I know we've dealt with one last year, I believe, in your area, a
Yep.
bus route,
And it
signage.
never did change.
It never did.
Change.
It didn't change.
No. It was told it was gonna change, but it did not change.
That I didn't know, because I did have a few conversations directly with Buffalo Trail on that one, because there was a lot of concern on that. Yeah, I guess some of the issues we have is where the bus does stop on some of the local roads, and the school kids have to walk across a driving lane around the bus the other side to get on or get off. And there is some concern with that, so dropping them off at least on the side of the road where it's a direct path from the door to the driveway is probably the safest route, but
I guess it can't always happen,
well,
depending, but.
it takes a little longer for them to get around their routes that way. They have to plan it differently, but after the meeting, if you like, we can go over that again, and I'll send an email to Buffalo Trail and ask them if they can address it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, anything else on Region 4? Not, could I get a motion to approve it, please? Thanks, Bruce. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, RFD LR3 Hill Cut Edition.
Okay, so as we're working on LR3, back in about 2008, we worked on Township 454, which is approximately 2 miles, 3 miles away from LR3. We did that east-west road along there, and then we also worked on Range Road 102. There was a hill on this road, a little bit of a hill cut that we could not complete due to the location of the pipeline and how shallow it was. I guess with the understanding that we're working over on 101, there was communication back to the division councillor that that pipeline had been lowered and potentially presents an opportunity to go through and complete this potential hill cut. With that in mind, we've contacted the pipeline owner, and we're trying to confirm that the actual lowering of the pipeline did complete, get a schematic of that, as well as entering into an agreement potentially going forward. So I guess with that, we're just looking at the possibility of council looking at approving the process of cutting this hill out. We're looking at about 3 days with two scrapers and a grader and a packer to complete that. This also might work a little bit into this 101 project, depending on working with CN. If they delay us a bit, this could actually, you know, allow us to finish this as well, or just tack it on at the end of the project.
How far away is it from that project?
It's 2.5 miles, I believe.
Wow. Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
2.5 miles. It's a half mile to the south and 2 miles back to the east. And what it is, there's a residence driveway. As they come out of the driveway, they look to the north, and there's a decent hill there. Not a big hill, just a decent height of a hill, I guess. It's kind of a knob.
What's your wishes, folks?
I would make this motion, Rob, that we move the equipment there. And I think that's a good idea for us to move well too, because if we are delayed, there's a good possibility
Yeah.
of doing something.
Yeah. And this is all contingent on the location of this pipeline,
Yeah.
how much they've lowered it, and what we can do there.
Right.
This could be dead in the water before we even
Yeah.
put a blade in the ground based on our hydrovacing.
Whose line is it?
Long run exploration.
It's a service line.
It used to be a Zargon line.
Yeah, it's not a main, it's just a provincial pipeline.
A provincial pipeline?
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed, any? It's carried. Okay, well, we'll do one more and then we'll meet our guests. Okay, the next one is LR11 removal.
Are we gonna have, I got
Yep.
one more question. Are we gonna have a shortage of clay there building that CN road?
No. Nope, we have lots of material there.
For 2 miles, that's still not a bad haul too.
Yeah. Well, at the hill cut, we can take that material and use it in the ditch going back to the south. We've already investigated that, so
Okay.
we don't have to, it'll be shortcuts and drops and then blade it out in the bottom of those ditches.
Okay, well, maybe we'll just break. We're after 9:30. We've got some people want to come see us, so we'll come back in a few minutes, guys. Okay. A couple of folks from Provost Gas. You guys want to introduce yourselves and we'll go around the table and then we'll listen to what you have to say.
I'm Terrence Hunch with the Natural Gas Co-op. I'm the general manager there.
You'll have to speak into the mic.
Yeah, I have to use mics. Yeah.
Is it
Terrence Hunch with the Natural Gas Co-op. I'm the general manager.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm John Taylor from Chauvin. I'm the chairman of the Natural Gas Co-op.
I'm,
Pleased to meet you.
Cummins, Division 5. Richard
Yes.
Leal, Division 3.
Mike Wilford, Deputy Reed.
Bob Barson, the Reeve.
Kelly Baczynski, Municipal Administrator.
Oscar Buck, Division 1.
Robin Layton, Division 4.
Okay. Well,
Morning, everyone.
you guys have asked for some time this morning, so I'll turn it over to you and hear what you have to say. So, go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Bob. I guess we're grateful for you guys allowing us to come back. We had sent in some information and it was detailed in, or we, I guess, could have had more details for the May meeting. And what we're responding back to your, I guess, your comments and all that and concerns. We're at the point here that we've done everything that you've asked for and then some. So this is what we've come to the table here with today is a few more questions and a little more information for you folks too and all that.
So I'll just go back on the history of this. So CN had come to us in 2022 to bring natural gas into their rail switch that they have east of Highway 17. They had doubled the track there, and they have about 5 switch heaters that are currently on propane. And they currently have about 6,000 gallons of propane sitting on site. And with the heaters, in a normal winter, they use about 20,000 gallons of propane at that site. So their concern is throughout the winter, it's hard for access into that site to refill them tanks, because that location is, it's off the highway. There's a bit of a road there to get down. So we offered them a pipeline to go in there. It was a 3.5 kilometers of pipeline, 2-inch line that we run up to the boundary of the Crown land. And our plan was to go through the Crown land to finish off the project. So we did the application with the Crown land, and it got delayed with the approval process, and it's been 2 years now waiting on the approval for that. So we looked at other options back early this spring and come to you guys for the option to go down the road. And we've worked with the adjacent landowners as a different route to get through the Crown land, or around the Crown land, sorry. And we're at a standstill now. The landowners will not let us go the other way. And the Crown land occupant doesn't want us going through the Crown land either.
So what are you looking for from us?
Oh, sorry, question.
Just to reevaluate the situation about going down the ditch line.
Oh, it's like total ditch access.
Yeah, so it's the 500 meters from the intersection to the north that we would have to come down that ditch line to get to the CN right away, and then we would continue on down there right away.
So going back to the landowner, why is the landowner not on there? Are you paying compensation for that? Is that not high enough, or what's the figure?
We're paying compensation for it. I believe there's personal issues between the landowner and CN, and we're caught in the middle of it.
So what it is, to add to that, Bill, and all that, is we went and sat down with the father and son, the landowners, in August. And basically, the dad was already paid $12,000 for compensation of the line. So I'll just add a little bit more to it and all that. Yes, we have, there's other gas lines in the area and all that, and I was explaining a little bit to Oscar and all that. We can go back, but it's the size of line that they need. And a few years back, we'd already, one of the SunSnet had put in a bigger shop. So we had to run a bigger gas line over to that already. So what we've done is, from that distance over again, is where this line had to come from. So it came over to, basically, we've had previous experience with the families that we had never had any issues with them. So this was kind of a surprise to us. But we did not realize that this ongoing fight with the farmer and the sons with CN is going to this extent. So we didn't even, to answer your guys' question, it's not about money with us for compensation or anything. We didn't even get that far. But we've already paid them for the damages already coming into, up to basically the Crown quarter, if that makes sense.
Was that 2-inch line, is that a plow line?
It was plowed up to that point, but it would be, we're proposing to directional drill down the road allowance at a deeper depth.
You wouldn't even know it's there. So that's our last there. Just answering any other comments, if you looked at a map, yes, we do have other gas lines going back to the Chauvin and all that, but that's only a 3/4 inch line. And that's what, this one was enlarged a few years back to come this far, so we added on for that principle already. So as far as going back already to Chauvin, that's too far, and CN has already made comment to Terrence that if this doesn't go through, they're done. We did apply back to the Crown again, even though we know that the landowner says no to it. They're making us start over again. So it'll be another 14 months. Landowner this time says no, he's not signing that at all. And CN has already mentioned, like I said. they're done with it. If we have no answer for them, positive answer, they're gonna leave the propane in place. As,
Your initial application to the Crown, was that denied or was it?
It was delayed, and then it was actually denied at the end with, they needed it, the map submitted in a different format because their application process had changed within that 2 years. So they basically told us to start from scratch again and would redo the application.
What's in our right of way now? Is there any lines there now?
There's nothing there that I know of on that piece of, it's developed road.
So, how close is CN's right of way to one of our right of ways?
So from the intersection to the north where our gas line is, it's 500 meters south of that intersection from your east-west road. And then you go and you cross the CN right away in that. I do have some maps here if you guys need to see something.
Okay. So you can't get to the CN right away without going down our roadblocks, is what you're telling me?
that's exactly it, Bob, yes. That's what it's come to.
Oh, I see, okay.
And the blue line is what you're requesting? The blue line, that's correct.
Thank
That's
you.
right, Bruce. Yeah. Yes, yeah, right.
And you want that to come south on the road allowance to the traffic to extend that?
Yeah.
It would just be there, Mike, yes.
They currently require about 4.5 million BTUs at that site. So that's why they have so much propane sitting around with the 6,000 gallons.
I know at the May meeting, Bruce, you had wondered about, like, they have a tank out here, but because the area that it's in, and then it's not as handy either, so that's why they have to have more, I guess, in case of bad weather, and that's why the more tanks down in that area. And I couldn't tell you, we didn't ask them if they purchased their, propane comes from Lloyd, Wainwright, or even Macklin, but, so if you get the idea,
wanna come down to here.
that's why they have to have that
They wanna
much
come down
surplus
the
on
road.
hand.
So this is Crown land.
It is,
Yep.
it is
So
that,
there are
Bruce,
other
yeah.
options to come here,
That's on Range Road 11, right?
Yeah.
off this road now,
Right
or
there.
that one.
And you guys have that
And then they go
road
down to
developed
CN
from that
right away.
intersection down to the CN railway, and then after that, it's
So this
not
is
quite developed
500
anymore.
meters, so this will be
Just come down and then take off. down the
1,000,
right of way.
1.6.
Yeah, once we get to the CN right away, we gotta go about 200 meters back to the,
Is
to
this,
the west.
do you know if that, is this an upgraded road here, off 610?
So John, a quick question, is the other day,
Yes.
when you go out the gas
But they
lines,
got no gas line, they got no gas line up here, well, this is their gas line here.
and there were people who wouldn't let you
So they got no gas here
don't
either,
find out. Then
but
what
it's,
did you do?
don't know this.
No, this has been a first bill.
It has
Okay.
been a first.
This is the first.
Everybody let you cross their land, and not one said one word.
Well, you do get a little bit of opposition, but normally they come around, yeah.
They come around.
Yeah.
This is our first, and just to answer, we have no issues, we haven't with the Crown before either. We don't have any, what do you say, track record there that, no, it's a long process with the Crown, but this is ever our first here. And I should mention to you, when we did sit down with father and son and all that, they did mention after an hour or so at the kitchen table that they have a lawyer that they've been fighting, that they hired to fight CN. So we can see CN's issue on this, that they've tried, and basically they've said this is enough. So they'll stay where it's at.
Normally, we have the option to go around on a different landowner, but they own everything around that.
Okay,
So, yeah, Oscar, yeah. We like I said, took your notes and your letter that you sent back to us, and we've been trying on this, and CN's reply is they're just looking at the safety part of it there. And what they mean by that is if the road, like say it was ever snowstorm or whatever, and, they couldn't get off, I don't know, Oscar, that road's not always, That road's not always plowed first thing. It's not a school bus route or anything, so I don't know the,
It's not plowed first thing, but if they phoned, it would have been plowed.
Okay.
We've never been notified on it.
oh, okay, no, you
And,
guys are doing what you can there, but I'm just saying in case,
We've talked about it already since you brought the safety issue up.
yes.
That road will be prioritized, because we do have a school bus out there, and for that half a mile of road, he could plow that, yes.
Okay, and then we understand they hire their own grader to come off the MD road into the tanks.
We own the other side of the tracks too, John.
Yeah, but no, to come down there right away, Oscar, they have to have that
That's
plowed?
right. That's their,
So they want
that's
a
not
direct
us.
snow.
No, I'm saying if they have a lot of snow, they have to acquire for that too, so, yep. No, all it is just the safety part of it is what
We've
there's.
never been notified by CN about that crossing.
Right.
We've never been asked about the gas issue. We've never had any conversation with them.
No,
So I'm still kind of baffled that if it was a CN problem, they would have been at our table by now. But I don't know if this is a CN problem or if it's a project that you guys would like to see done. Which means you probably should be going back to the ground, whether it takes you 17 months or whether it takes, I guess your issue is to sell them gas.
We don't,
It's the same, anything, like CN has never notified any of us.
we don't have the Crown occupant signature. We don't have the Crown occupant signature anymore.
That's
He
gone on.
won't sign it again.
But if it's Crown land, you can get permission to cross it. With or without chauffeur signing. You just gotta, it takes a little longer, you get the permission, you go in and you go through it, but without CN's backing, which I don't believe CN's even got a hold of the Crown. This is an initiative of your guys's to better your business, but it really has no intent from CN. CN doesn't seem to care which way they wanna go on this.
but they do, Oscar, though.
Well,
That's what they
if
said, the
did,
safety
I
part.
would have to argue with you, John, because if they did, they would have sent a notification to us too. And when it got this far, they would ask, you know, send a letter on behalf, but we've never seen one. And I believe from talking to you, your final words was CN said they were gonna drop this.
Well, they've already, and chauffeurs asked us that too. They said, what happens if we block this? It doesn't really, it doesn't matter. CN's already got their fuel in there. They're, again, Oscar, it's the safety part. They had a train derailment there this spring. The cars went off the track on this side of the tanks, of the track, not over into the tanks. So again, they're looking at the safety part of it.
Well, CN would probably run some of the safest things along that rail.
Yes,
And
but,
we still haven't heard that part of it, but all I'm saying is there's been no communication, only what you guys are saying with CN. And if this is a CN project, most of the time we hear from, whether we're putting in signals, crossway, putting in a track crossing, I mean, we're notified.
But-
And from then, it could be 3 years before they even do the damn project, which we know we got a project like that.
well, that's where we're at, Oscar. This is coming up to 2. But they've already said, no, they've got their purpose is already
I
there.
think if you do your homework with CN and get some letters of reference, you might get somewhere with the government crossing the Crown line. Or
But
they can use their own right of way. I mean, run it down across the Crown line, and that half mile puts you on their right of way. So you could go right down the railroad line to their, to what they, if it's that big a
Can't
deal.
get there.
This can happen. It just ain't gonna happen. You're asking us to go
Why did we say
against
no?
ratepayers of that community, when there is a lawsuit
See,
pending
they,
on
see, they got this down.
cattle
See, they
tax,
can't, I thought they could.
the chauffeurs want on that rail, and they won't give it to them, haven't given it to them since they twinned that
They better
rail.
get that.
So they've gotta go all the way around with every bunch of cattle, they own, what, 1740s on that one side?
Well, they're not, no, Oscar, I gotta correct you on that. They're not going around. CN put a crossing in for them to truck the cattle across.
But they won't shut the trains down there while they move cattle.
Because that's a Transport Canada issue.
Yeah, I
For
know
that.
what it is.
But that's out of our league, Oscar. That's going up and above.
Apparently this is too.
But I think what I gotta remind you of is we're a utility. We're not making this for profit. We're trying to supply gas.
Oh, I
Again,
know what you're trying to do. It's an initiative for co-op 52 of Provost, which is out of our jurisdiction too.
no,
Yeah, well, you guys service
No.
some of the.
Our franchise area is in County Wainwright.
we're in your franchise.
Okay, okay, I think we've got the gist of it. So why don't you leave it with us, and we'll have some discussion and see if we can come up with a solution.
Okay, Bob,
Fair
yeah.
enough?
In other scenarios that I know of that are out there, they've gone 2 meters deep in the ditch, so we could do that too.
So your line has to go from north of 610 all the way south to the railroad track.
Yeah, which is approximately 500 meters.
That's it there.
Well, any more questions, Steve? Everybody else good? Okay, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in. We'll
Thank-
Take a look at this and see what we can come up with.
Okay, thank you for giving us the time and all that to speak.
Thank you for the
Yeah,
time.
you bet, you
Okay.
bet. Okay. Okay, let's bring our guys back in, please. Okay. Can we talk about that here in administration? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, folks, thanks, sorry about that. Okay, move LR 11 and add a mile to LR 9.
So where's LR9?
That is up in my area.
Oh, yeah, I figured that out.
Township 747.
Well, it's the high, it should be able to figure it out, it's the highest numbers we got, so. Yeah, it's on that new 2 miles we're gonna build, so. If you wanna
So
explain it,
council's
Preston.
proposing to remove LR 11, which is 3.5 miles.
Yeah,
It's on the east side of 881, and move that back to the end of construction, whatever that might look like,
Yeah.
2026 or whatever that might look like. And then add a mile onto the existing LR 9, going to the east between 102 and 103.
yeah. There's a mile in there not done, like we're gonna do 2 miles. So it's on the paved road, it's on that Mimburn Road. So there's only 1 mile what would be left, like when these 2 miles are built, there's only 1 mile not gonna be done. So what I'd like to do is take 3.5 miles off in exchange for doing that mile while we're there.
This mile that's proposed does have a road profile built. It is there, so it's less intense than the other 2 miles,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's already, it's gonna be widened out and cleared up,
Widen out, berms put in,
Yeah.
and then move forward from there.
so. What's that?
It's probably a 3-week job, 4-week job, just from desktop looking at it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, I would, just to get that mile done, I'd give up 3.5 miles on the other end and move it to 20, whatever it is, 25 or 26, whatever, don't matter. But it's just that, it makes more sense to do this mile over here while we're there, is move equipment back in later, that's all.
Is that mile already been developed then?
It's just to widen out, clean the ditches and put some new fence in. The biggest thing right now is the snow trap.
I don't know. Want me to make the motion?
Sure, if you
I'll
want to.
make the motion, we add a mile and strike LR 11.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, of any? It's carried. Okay, intersection improvement, 610 and 422. Okay.
Just gonna Okay, so, we have received, some information from, ratepayer, letter regarding some concerns about the intersection on 610 and, Thunder Road, 454. Excuse me, not 454, Thunder Road. And also, we did get some information back from the fire, or Chauvin Fire Chief requesting some, improvements on Township Road 422 and Range Road 20, south of Chauvin. What we can do here is we can do a number of things. We can refresh the rumble strips. We can add lights to the caution sign on 610. Obviously, that's not our stop sign, so we can't do anything with that stop sign. But on the road south of Chauvin, we could actually add light to that stop sign and refresh the rumble strips there as well.
Can you add you have an intersection ahead sign there already, right?
On Thunder Road, yes, we do.
Not on Chauvin, on the Thunder Alley Road.
Yeah.
Yeah?
We could also, on the Thunder Alley Road, we could go back a little farther and we could add an important intersection ahead sign as well.
Yeah.
To get a trifactor in there if we'd like to. So,
What if we took a look at our road system, and any place where we had 2 pavement intersections, we put a flashing light on the stop sign?
it would be,
Well,
a number, yeah.
there would be, but what's a light worth? $200?
No,
$500?
$1,800.
No, just a light, just a flashing light on the stop sign.
$1,800.
Is that what it is? Okay.
I think, you know, it would make sense, to me, just do them as they call it again. I mean, some of them will never have an incident. The one at Walter's Corner is probably 6 incidents,
Okay.
3 crashes.
Okay. Well, I know I got 2. One's at on the correction line on 883 is a bad one. They run through that one quite often. And the other one is a Membrane Road where it meets 470.
I think them are the ones we should.
I think we also have to look at, in particular, like the Thunder Alley ones, there's nowhere to go there. There's no extension
Yeah.
road or anything,
And that's the trouble with mine too. There's no ramps.
I see the government down there working today, and probably in this line, I don't know.
I think they're working on the east side of the road there, Oscar, maybe checking soil samples there, maybe. I noticed that the stop sign is marked at that intersection. There was a lap beside it, and there's orange tape on the stop sign, so I know that administration has contacted AT, and there was, I think, a conversation back, Kelly, that they were looking at doing something with that stop sign. Is that correct? Yeah. So I did notice it was marked, so
Yeah,
potentially.
so maybe the ones we look at is the ones where there's no ramp off the
I
end.
thought you went down Highway 14 today by 30.
Pardon?
You said you went by 30 this morning, and they weren't working on it.
No, last night.
Last night. I
Oh,
saw
last
it.
night, okay.
This morning I come Thunder Alley.
I'm just trying to keep track of where you're going.
So do we get a copy of the accident investigation and what some of the,
Recommendation
yeah.
for improvement.
and recommendations and improvement? Because I'm wondering if, I have no problem with this whatsoever, but I'm wondering, especially at the end of Thunder Alley, if there shouldn't be a light standard here and have that intersection lit up. Is there power source there? There's a distribution line close by.
Yeah, right there.
Right there, so, but that's why, I don't have a problem if we do what we can on our end, but I'm wondering if we see the recommendations, what comes out of that. It might be more than just a little.
Do we have a meeting with Alberta Transportation this convention?
We do have an offer, right?
Yes,
Yes.
we have an offer to meet with the Minister of Alberta Transportation, so we could bring it up at that point.
I mean, in that room, we could ask the process, what's involved with it, get a little bit of
Yeah,
understanding, the
good idea.
background, how
Yeah.
it goes forward, everything. I don't know, maybe I'm going down the wrong road here.
No,
let
I
me know,
think
but-
that's a good idea.
But I mean, maybe that's a foot to start on, and then we can roll from there.
I think that's
you'd like to hear that?
controlled out of Vermillion though, isn't it?
No.
That's light, because that's who Chauvin contacted to get the one by.
Yeah, that's on the
Yeah.
stop sign. I think we're talking more of a lidded intersection where we have light standards. Is that correct, Mike?
That's what I would like to
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what they did do in Chauvin, was put the light up on Ben West corner there.
Oh, okay.
So that was just done through Vermilion?
Pardon?
That was just done through Vermilion?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, we can start there and go from there.
But it still doesn't hurt to bring it up at
Yeah.
that place there.
Can we
Just
s-
don't wanna step on Vermilion's toes and then
Yeah, yeah,
they.
good point.
We're just asking for a process. It's not really.
Can we still go forward with this job, or is it a cost-effective thing?
So for these, for this request we have now, does council want to go ahead with these?
How come it costs, 3,000 or more for doing the same thing south of Chauvin as it does at, it ain't that much further.
What are we referring to?
What's that, Richard?
Well, it's saying it's gonna cost $7,000 at, Chauvin and, 4,300 at Thunder Alley.
Yeah.
Mileage.
Why is it
So-
such a difference?
Because there's two sets of rumble strips on the South Chauvin Road, so 3,000 a set, and there's only the one set on the intersection at 610, because there's no, it's a T intersection.
We'll do both sides of the intersection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
it-
the light is
yeah, I
actually
know.
a
I
little
know what
more
you're
than
saying.
than
But
1,300,
we're
18.
gonna have to start doing rumple strips deeper at every intersection in the whole county.
After a while, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything with any traffic, cause I drove the
Only-
ones at Chauvin.
But it's looking like it's only after accidents.
Yeah.
And I know accidents happen, but
When you say, Bill, you want them done before?
no,
Do an
I'm just
assessment.
saying,
I think it's something
it's
everybody
up to the
should be checking in their
responsibility of the
area
driver for some of it,
and adding them to the list, yeah.
but.
You're right.
But I'll make a motion
Yeah.
to go ahead and do these two projects.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
so
well-
my understanding is we're gonna use the stop sign lights at the Chauvin intersection, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and then there'll be warning indicator lights at the Thunder Alley intersection.
Yes, please.
Okay, and the lights are, the rumble strips are approximately $3,000 per set, and the lights are about $1,800 per set. So this number is a little bit low. At the time, we didn't have hard numbers, but we're a little, so it's gonna be approximately this price,
Yeah.
just to going forward, just so everybody knows.
Okay.
Well, we installed the lights on the Fabian Bridge, 2 years ago, 3 maybe, and they've been running solid since, so right now we haven't gone down that road, so I can't say for sure, but
Our solar power.
they might,
You got a couple of them.
Yeah.
Just with the rumble strips, is there like, a set, you gotta have them so sharp, they gotta be so deep, is there anything like that, or is it just?
I've never explored that before, so I mean, that's a question I'll
It's
most
more
certainly
the width
ask.
of 'em, so,
Feel them, yeah.
yeah, it's not the, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the height of the road has already dropped, that we're down pretty near flush in the main track there, eh?
Oh,
Like,
right,
you hardly feel the rumble strips, and I thought,
because of
but
traffic.
if you move over,
Yeah, because of
you can
traffic.
feel them
Wheel
good,
rutting.
it's just in the track area.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
right.
have to do the whole thing in order to fix it.
Okay. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, any? Carried. Okay, sale of equipment.
So I have some items in the yard, attachment that goes on our TV 7060 tractor, which we sold. I have an old mulching head that was no longer in use. What else do I got? A small utility trailer, a few items that we don't utilize because of one reason or another. So just wanted to bring it to council's attention, like to move and divert some of this equipment, either through auction, through tender sale, or even potentially on some of the smaller items, such as, you know, we got a few grader rims that maybe we could advertise on Kijiji and see if we can get a private sale happening there. And if that doesn't work, then we'll scrap them. But you won't get anything at an auction for a grader rim. I know that, so.
Can you put it on Kijiji or
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Schooners for all of the stuff that you got up there?
Well, I don't,
Auction will beat you up pretty bad.
yeah, I think on
Small
those,
auction will beat you up pretty
on those
bad.
smaller items, I think we'd like to try and run it through Kijiji and then just kind of see how that works. Because I don't think there's a lot of demand for a grader rim at an auction, but potentially guys that are searching Kijiji, maybe they'll grab one. Maybe somebody will buy it as a fire pit. I don't know.
Or any online platform.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, I don't know, just wanted to see if council was
So you
up
guys-
for
you
that
guys-
and
you
we
guys
go
okay
forward.
with trying it?
I'm good with that.
Okay, give her a go.
Okay.
So you make it,
You don't need a motion on that?
if you want one.
I think you should have one.
Okay.
Thanks, Bruce.
Moved by Bruce, that we use online platforms as well as local auctions, is that probably fair enough?
Don't go on rent rate though.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed, nay? Yes, let's take a break. we will go to accounts. Anybody has any questions or comments? Could I get a motion to approve them, please? By Richard, thank you. All in favor? Carried. Okay, financial statements are there for your perusal. Any questions on them? Not, could I get a motion? Thanks, Oscar. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried.
Just quickly, is our wood chopping contract, how long, is it a yearly?
The what?
The wood, we buy wood from contract?
No, we buy out.
Is it yearly?
We just do an annual thing.
Annual, yeah, okay, sorry.
That's okay. Okay, reserves there for your perusal. Any questions? Monthly status report. Is there anything you want to ask administration about that? Okay. Okay, RFD recycle agreements. These are agreements that we do with our villages every year, or, yeah, every year, right?
It's annually, yes.
Yeah.
It's for bins we have in each village that our population uses, so we share the costs with the villages.
I'll make that motion, Bob.
Okay, go with option one.
Yes.
Okay, moved by Mike, we go with option one. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed of any? It's carried. Okay, community building, this is the, used to be called the gas tax?
Yeah, that's right. It's the old gas tax fund, replaced with this new CCFBF. So annually, we get $309,011. I shouldn't say annually, that was our 2024 allocation. So there's an agreement we'd have to sign with municipal affairs who broker it with the federal government,
Yeah.
so it's an agreement that
We
needs
need a
approval.
motion to sign the agreement. Thanks, Oscar. Any further discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Okay, the Northern Lights.
Just run that by me again, Kelly, sorry. I just don't understand that.
So it's that fund's been around for many years. It's to help with infrastructure costs. So the federal government will partner with the provincial government and municipalities to come up with a funding formula for infrastructure improvements. So we pick projects, we apply to the province and get approved for mostly capital improvements. So we'll pick a project we're doing anyway, like typically cement.
Windows? No?
No, it's infrastructure mostly,
Gotcha.
like road infrastructure.
894.
Roads, bridges, stuff like that.
No, you said cement, not asphalt.
So you've got financial implications there.
Well, I've got, it's 300, that's a
what I'm
grant.
looking at.
Yeah, so it's not a cost to us, it's money coming in that we use and allocate towards projects, so it's a grant, basically.
It's a grant. The way it started, Bill, was back in about 2000 about 2005, 2006. There was a push from FCM to get more money for infrastructure. So FCM lobbied, and so we got 5 cents a liter for 5 cents a liter for every liter of gas sold in Canada. The feds collected that, and then they made agreements with the province. And Alberta was the first province to sign on. And so when I was with the association, that's when we signed on first. It was Stelmach was premier. So it's a flow through, but since the feds don't have signing agreements with municipalities, and the province does, so the feds send the money to the province, and we sign an agreement with the province, and they just, it flow throughs to us through the province, because there's no mechanism for the feds to write all these checks, right? So it's just a flow through.
So then, who makes a decision with what we get?
We do.
We're just given an allocation, so it's based on a formula of miles of roads,
Yeah.
per capita and so on, so.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Everybody gets it.
Everybody gets
Everybody
something.
gets it. It's an
Okay.
allocation based on some sort of formula.
Yeah.
I thought you was a grant you had to apply for, and you may got it and you may
Well,
not.
we do. We have to fill out the paperwork
But
to
it's-
which project we're going to put it towards, and then the province approves it. But that doesn't affect the amount.
Yeah.
The amount's pretty well set.
So have we ever been said, okay, no,
No.
we don't approve that?
No, we've been pretty fortunate. It's
Okay.
it's pretty a flow-through program that works well.
I haven't ever heard of no municipality not receiving it.
that's the program that Drew is trying to get changed so that he can deal with the municipalities. The housing project is the
Yeah, the
same, used to
housing
be
is
the
one.
same way.
Oh,
But he's
okay.
trying to accumulate votes by bypassing the government on this stuff and handling it directly. So that's why it's a good deal to stay the way it is, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll need a motion to sign it.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, Northern Lights.
Okay, so we got a letter. You see it's attached from Northern Lights Library System. They had a meeting, the board meeting, and came up with an increase to their levy of 1.5% for 2025. So that would be an increase per capita to 10.94. So our financial implications, this would be a cost. This would actually be a cost for a levy for 2025 of 49,000 and some change.
Could I get our representative to explain this cost of increase?
Again,
What do we pay 'em?
can we look at the minutes from last year and just repeat the same
And do
thing?
the same?
Yeah.
What did we pay last year?
No, it was like.
What was last year's levy?
You're just looking at
1.5, it goes up every year for 3, is what they,
So what's the cost, Tyson? What are we paying?
Last year was 48,284.
$1,000,
49,000.
49,000.
$1,000 difference.
48,000 what?
283.60.
I'll make the motion, we go with option one.
You're still asking questions.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Okay, aggregated electricity tender.
Okay, so we have through 8760, and that's through RMA. We have an agreement for a contract for electricity, and it was for 5 years, ending in December 31st, 2025. So you can see the rates there. Right now, we're paying roughly 5.7 cents per kilowatt hour, and then 4.6 cents for streetlights per kilowatt hour. So the same outfit, 8760, is going for tender on September 28th to do a renewal. So they're wanting to know if the MD of Wainwright wants to be part of that tender. So they're figuring that, so that wouldn't affect their current contract, it would just add on to it. So, you know, picturing after December 31st, 2025, there's some options there in front of you. For a 3-year rate, they're anticipating the price of electricity to be between 6 cents and 7 cents. Or for a 4-year rate, between 7 cents and 7.5 cents. So council has a decision if they want to jump on that tender on September 28th and see if we could basically lock in our rates. Like you do at your own personal right. You go and sign a contract with whatever provider. But this way, they do the work for municipalities, and they're kind of, I guess they're trying to conjure up a number of municipalities to put one big tender together to get a good price going forward. So they suggest, as far as street lights, to leave that alone, to just go on what they call an index rate, not a contract fixed rate. And the reason for that is that you know, street lights are on towards the end of the day when there's less electricity use, so the price of electricity goes down during the night, and almost in some cases I'm told is zero, free, based on the demand. So they're saying that rather than committing to a fixed rate on the streetlights, they're saying just go on an index rate, which is fine. Council can consider that. So anyway, you have a few options. Enter into a contract with 8760, so we'll have to sign the documentations before September 28th to join the tender for a 3-year or 4-year term. Or they tell me they're going to do this in the springtime again. And I don't know, it's your guess is as good as mine or theirs, right? What's going to happen to the electricity prices in the springtime? Are they going to go up or are they going to go down? I don't know, so.
What are we paying now?
There's a federal election, they'll probably go down.
Tyson, do you know, what's our rate now?
Right now,
It's
it's
on the-
it's
0.057.
5.741 cents per kilowatt hour. That was a really good rate. I think,
Oh, yeah, there it is, yeah.
you know, you look at your own contracts, I don't know, you know, you're looking at right now a private contract is at 9 cents, just under 10 cents, and I think you're doing well. But if you can get anything between 6 and 7 cents, I think you're doing well for a 3-year rate. But it's totally up to council. It's really, it's throwing the dice, right? So it depends on what council wants to do.
I would like to go with RV.
With what?
So you wanna
3 years or 4?
go with number one?
Like,
then?
what's the cost, Kelly? What's the cost, overall cost? Like $1 million, or I don't wanna know that. so
You know
that I
what?
know
They
it sounds.
did. They basically have our usage and they average it. So what he told me is that, you know, within that, if you take that, for instance, between that 6 and 7, say 6.5 cents. So if you take what we're paying right now, 5.7, and what they told me is if you go at like 6.5, 7 cents, you're looking at an increase of around $10,000 per year based on our electrical use.
We were just over 200,000 last year
That's 200,000.
for total, yeah, on the,
So it's not a
Let me-
real big thing if we book it now rather than wait till spring, it's, in my mind.
No, you're right, but it could change.
it's easier to budget around if we have it booked in now,
Locked
though, too,
in.
we can, then we know, right?
It could change either way, but I think this is a safe way to go with the three-year one.
It's the cautious route. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to the cautious side, Billy?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody do something.
I'll make a motion, we go.
Oh geez, they're gonna all over the place now. Robin,
Three. I said
Robin
three.
started it.
You gonna do
Robin's
4?
going for 3 years.
3, I think, at
Okay.
the cheaper rate is more conservative, but what do you wanna do? You wanna do 4? I said 3.
So by,
Power's gonna go up, so no doubt in my mind.
Well, we have a motion to go with the 3-year rate right now. And I guess however you vote, and we'll decide if we have to need another motion or not.
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, I didn't mean to contradict you, dear.
Okay, all in favor of Robin's motion? Opposed? Motion carried. Okay,
That don't start till after this one runs out.
That'll start December 31st or January 1st, 2026.
okay. There are your contacts and member bulletins. Okay, I just added this at the end of administration, this gas line discussion we had with Co-op 52. What's your wishes?
We have a policy against running parallel in the ditch,
Yeah.
right? So,
We could maybe meet with CN and see what, talk to them and see about getting that, making that road a priority. Or I don't know, I just put it out there, you
I
guys
don't think
bring
we
up,
talk to them if they want it.
They can talk to us.
They would come to us.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, I would leave it alone.
Okay.
It's not in our ditches. It's not up to us to plow for the propane tank like John thought it was. Like, that's a CN problem. We don't plow for farmers to their propane tanks. So, I mean, what does CN do for us? You know, in the last.
Pay lots of taxes.
They do nothing, really. They shut off our roads to the hills here a few years back. Took us 3 years to get them back opened up. They had a lock gate on them. We finally got that removed. I mean, and they haven't even come to the tables.
Yeah.
These guys are coming saying it's a safety issue, which, if that's the case, we're gonna have more of them because at most of these crossings are propane.
yeah.
So, once you open this door for that 500 yards, you've now opened it up all the way across for them. So, as far as I'm concerned.
Natural gas is far safer than propane.
Yeah, so that's up to them, how they wanna do it. And if they want a line in there, CN can afford to dig their own line in. They don't need
We still need access.
I'm sure they'll get access. They can go right down there right away and tie in. Which is only.
I would suspect that if CN wanted this pushed, they'd have gas in by now.
They would have been at the table already.
Well, they would have by,
With the lawsuit going on, they probably want to step back from it. That's my thought.
yeah, it could be, Bruce, could be. But if there's no action, then there's no action. And I'm okay with leaving it the way it is and letting CN come to us, but it's up to you guys.
Yeah, I'd just leave it.
Anybody else got comments?
No, I'd like to hear from CN.
Okay.
Well, if they come to us, we will hear from them, but I don't think we should start initiating going down our roadways.
Well, I guess the only thing, do they have, how far off or how far off our road is this propane tank? Like, is it really close?
But from here to that light post?
Oh, yeah, okay, so it's right there.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a quarter of a mile down there right away where the
No.
tank is, okay. So there is access to that tank.
Yes. And there's a road right up to the propane.
That's what I mean. Okay. Okay, so we good with it for now, and let's hear from CN if they want to contact.
Yeah, let's hear from CN.
Okay. Okay, moving along.
Do you have to send a letter out to these guys? Saying that we're staying the same way we are?
What's your, do you want a motion to, or what do you want? It's just protect you guys.
Just no action on this.
So you don't need anything, there's no action.
So, but then, I mean, that don't look good either. What are you saying to them guys?
We're saying
They've
that
come
we-
here as
yeah.
a body trying to get us to put it in the ditch, and we're just gonna say back, there's no action at this time.
Well, our
Are we giving
action,
them a
Bill, is,
reason?
our action is no, we've already made an action. We've already told them we're not doing it.
Yeah, we've already sent them a letter based on their letter they sent prior, so there's no change in that, and I'll just reiterate that.
Would you reference in our policy where it says we won't put them in our right of way? Would you
I'd
go
have to
that
find
far,
that
or-
first. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
don't
we'd,
think we wanna give them options, that's up to
No,
them.
no, I think you just, that we've reviewed, basically, let us say we reviewed your request, and council's action is, we're still taking no action as first. You'll put the fine words together.
He said, some stuff from the first meeting, not meeting, but the letter.
Yeah, reference.
So, what was the stuff we recommended?
He said we had questions, I don't know.
Like, he was referring to that when he was giving the speech.
Yeah, he didn't
Yeah,
he didn't
I'm not
clar-
sure.
Sounds like he watched the meeting.
He-
Maybe.
That's where it came, because he had your comments, so he obviously,
That's where I was kinda.
yeah, so obviously he watched the meetings, and then he is referring from,
They'll review this meeting too.
yeah, that's fine,
Okay.
that's
They
fine.
also they do have an application out to the Crown right now also. So he did say they are going through that process again.
Yeah. Okay. So that, okay, Bill?
Yeah, no, I got no problems either way. You know,
Okay.
it's whatever they decide. Okay.
Okay, mutual aid, okay, fire protection mutual aid agreement.
So this was brought forward by the fire chief to have a mutual aid in cooperation or partnership with one of our neighbors to the east in Saskatchewan. That would be the Macklin. It's a fire board that they've established to look after that. So they're asking that we, the MD of Wainwright, in cooperation with the village of Chauvin, sign a mutual aid agreement to go back and forth. And there would be compensation involved for attending and payments as well accordingly.
So, do you know if Chauvin has signed this?
Yeah, they have some.
Okay,
They need it more they also help us at Dilbury Lake.
okay,
On a couple instances, we've helped them at Suffern and the little town just up the road. Mostly with just the water truck is what we've been helping them with. So what they did was sign 2 agreements and left it up to us which one we wanted to pick basically. And they said they didn't care. The one agreement matches Macklin's agreement, which is 1,700 and something per day. Pardon, per hour, for one unit.
oh, okay.
Or you can go back to our normal rates, which is $6.25 per unit that goes over there. But when they're only asking for the water truck all the time so far, we'd be making money at 17 something, but if we had to take our fire department down and help with a major fire, we'd probably lose money at $6.25, so. After talking to the fire chief and to the town, because that's, Macklin's is 17.10 or 20 an hour, or day, whatever it is. I think it's an hour right now. So they'd like to keep it close to what theirs is. At first, they didn't, but after they reviewed what was going on with Kelly and myself, so I brought both options to the table, but they would like to stay with the 17.50 a day. I just got off the phone with them when we had our break, so, or whatever, the 1,700 something. So, but it's up to you guys, which way you wanna go.
Take your lead on it.
So they'd prefer to stay with the 1,700, and if it doesn't work out, we start losing money because they're calling us too much, then we'll redo the agreement.
Okay.
But the 1,700 is just for the water tanker?
It's for any
Any
vehicle,
call.
whether it's a fire truck goes out with 2 men,
Do you have to have bylaw for this?
1750.
Do you have to have bylaw for this?
We've done these with our motion before.
Okay.
I don't know if I feel comfortable signing the agreement. I don't know anything about it. Why are we signing it? It's not our fire department. What are you doing?
It's a joint,
They do come into our area.
it's a joint use agreement. Same as we signed with Hardesty and Beaver and Mamble.
But you,
Once Kelly sent out the notification, once I found out, I didn't know we were doing this night. I brought it to Kelly, and Kelly looked into it and sent me out an email saying, our fire trucks do not go into any area without a mutual aid agreement. So that's they've been working back and forth for the last 20 years with no mutual aid agreement.
But does it have to come to this table, or is Shaw and signing it good enough?
Pardon?
No, because it's MD-owned trucks.
yeah, that proposes a problem, but I mean, what you've done is you've taken your fire department, your Chauvin Fire Department, you've made the agreement with the town and Macklin. We're left out of the picture now you want us to sign it?
No, we didn't.
No, that's not the way it's working?
No.
Well, it looks like it to me.
Me and Kelly been involved in it.
Well, they respond to, like, for instance, in the rural areas, right? So that if there's an incident that the Chauvin Fire Department requests mutual aid in the rural area, Chauvin's not involved in that because we have an agreement to use their fire department to respond. So then we have an agreement, a mutual aid agreement to have our neighbors respond in the rural area. So that's what this is basically, where Chauvin doesn't have jurisdiction.
But we can't send our MD-owned equipment into an area with no agreement.
Right, but I think what Bill's trying to clarify is he'd like to see the agreement. He's
Well,
asking,
no,
he's
I-
asking,
yeah,
he's
no,
asking
that's
to vote on
basically,
something
yeah.
that he's never seen.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It says approve and sign the agreement. Well, I haven't seen the agreement, and I've never been part of the agreement. But
Well-
if you're saying actually the agreement is only,
Huh?
It's right here. You want me to read it?
no, how big is it?
It's not very long.
Oh,
I
is
can
it
read
dollars? Is it involve dollars? Is it?
Yeah, so basically, I can just read it to you. The parties to this understanding recognize the value of planning for extraordinary events that may affect the fire department at the time of local resources may not be sufficient to deal with the local emergency. Therefore, it is the intent of this agreement to allow for the use of neighboring resources as a mutual aid backup. Each of the signatories below agree to respond to such requests with equipment and manpower as they may have available from time to time. This would be secondary to local needs, so a fire department cannot guarantee mutual aid support 100% of the time. It is agreed. Oh, Neil, did you want to keep reading this for me?
You need a glass of water, Kelly?
The mutual aid department is not liable for mutual aid expenses incurred in the event where the responding department is not able to bill for the fire, i.e. no insurance coverage. The mutual aid department is not responsible for any damages if they are unable to respond. Maintain comprehensive general liability insurance coverage related to the provisions of fire protection services of not less than $5 million per occurrence. Both parties agree to keep the other advised of disaster plans and procedures that are in place and any changes and updates that occur. The agreement will remain in force until such time as either party wishes to alter, change, or terminate the agreement.
So is the dam aware of this too?
What's that?
Is the dam aware of this too?
Well, I don't know if this would really involve the den. This is for fire.
If it's a, if
It's for
a
fire, not
catastrophe
for,
down there though in Chauvin.
this would be a benefit, I guess, for the
Yeah,
dam,
for
to have
him.
all the extra resources.
Okay.
Then it goes on, thanks Neil for that. It goes on to talk about the equipment, so the rate would be per units, like Oscar had mentioned, would be $6.50 per hour, and each member would be $30 per hour. And then it lists the equipment for each fire department. So for Chauvin, we have engine 1, tender 1, ice rescue, so 2 suits available, tender 2, which is 3,500 gallons of water. Then there's a drone search and rescue. Is that right? We have a drone. And there's a rescue 1, which would be probably like a rapid response vehicle, and a rapid 1 for wildland, 1-ton skid unit, and rapid 2 would be the mule, basically a UTV. And then Macklin and District Fire Protection, they have engine 1, which is 1,050 gallons per minute, 1,200 gallons of water. Engine 2, which is a 1,250 gallon per minute pump, 3,000 gallons of water. They have a rescue unit as well. A Wildland 1, which is 200 gallons per minute, 250 gallons of water on board. Wildland 2, which is 500 gallons per minute pump and 300 gallons of water on board. They have a command, which has rescue jaws, a trailer with ice rescue, and EMR response 2 members currently. And so their rate is $1,700 per hour manpower, which would include, so basically when they respond, that would include 1 unit or all of their units, right? $1,700 per hour. And then our rate would be $650 per hour per unit with 2 members.
So right now, the fire chief there is gonna make the call. If they get a fire in a rural area, he's gonna say, I need your engine 1, your pumper.
Yeah. Yeah, the fire chief would make that call.
I'm
His
not
representative.
sending 10 vehicles, he's sending 1, and the fire chief's making the call.
Right.
Okay. I just wondered who was making the call for the amount of trucks that you're getting for the fire involved. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so what's your wishes?
I think we should go with the 1,700 like they wanna do, the same, that way it's
Okay.
exact same data across the board.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
alrighty. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, if any? It's carried. Alrighty, stop signs. Okay, bylaw number 1704 is to replace some stop signs. They are listed in your package. So they will be all under one bylaw, so we'll start with the first reading.
I would do that, Bob.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, if any? It's carried. Second reading moved by Bruce. Thank you, Bruce. All in favor? Opposed, if any? It's carried. Motion to proceed moved by Richard. All in favor? Opposed, if any? It's carried. Third and final moved by Mike. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Thank you. Okay, need Miss Dana. Quality management. Oh, Dana, how are you doing today?
Good, how about you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Okay, we have Dana's report in front of us. Does anybody have any questions or comments on it? Not?
Yeah.
I'll need a motion to approve it.
I can do that.
Thanks, Bruce. Anything else, Dana, you have to add?
Nope.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed, if any? It's carried. Okay, quality management plan. What are we doing here?
So accreditation with the Safety Codes Council requires that we have a quality management plan and that
Yep.
it be updated every 5 years.
Yep.
This is an update. The only revision to it is that we have a separate QMP for fire, and that's been removed from this document. So just a very subtle change. It needs to be submitted to the Alberta Safety Codes Council every 5 years, and that's now.
Okay. So, we just need,
I'll make a motion, we authorize that.
okay,
Sign the
thanks,
update.
Robin.
Option 1. Update,
Option 1.
update the QMP.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed of any? It's carried. Okay, thank you. Okay, approval of the pay sheets. Thanks, Mike. Okay, all in favor of Mike's motion? Opposed of any? It's carried. Okay, reports, state plant, no meeting. Edgerton?
We had a meeting, but there wasn't enough for a quorum, so
Okay.
we just went over some of the budget things to be ready for this month.
Okay. FCS.
No meeting.
Battle River Foundation.
Currently, we have 93 rooms. We're filling up quickly. A few more tours on the go this week, so things are looking really good. We got a letter back from Garth Roswell about our inquiry about a nurse practitioner.
Okay.
He offered his support and thought we should move forward, but the board's decided, you know, now that we were full, really it's just, it was a thing to try and get people to move in. So we didn't have any support from the doctor recruitment board, so we just decided to let it go. And what else? We had a new water softener installed because one went down. Can you think of anything else? That's about it.
Okay.
Oh, we're having our Christmas party.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not right now, but at Christmas.
Okay, landfill, we haven't had a meeting. 911,
No, just an executive meeting, check signing, that's about it, nothing else.
foundation. Bill?
Yeah, I'm still writing, Bob. Okay, no, new doctor started, Dr. Amike, I think is how you pronounce his name. And that'll bring our doctor total up to 12 here in Wainwright. We've had lots of interest in the foundation, people joining the foundation. 2 new members actually. First night back was just September. We had 2 new members showed up for that meeting, so it's pretty good.
Are you at full membership now?
We will be if they haven't signed on the dotted line, but that'll make 12, and then there's other people that have. You can still join the foundation. You just won't be able to vote. You will be a non-voting member.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And we're still encouraging that. That's about it.
Okay.
Questions were asked, Bill. We're using the number 12 or 13, 12.
Yeah.
And 3 of them doctors or 4 don't qualify as a medical doctor in the town. They're more of for surgery, anesthetic.
Yeah, that's correct.
And so some people are getting confused that we have 12 doctors, but not all 12 take patients.
That's correct.
So how many do we need to do this so we don't have to wait 4 months on it?
Oh, I think we're plenty adequate right now, because if you don't have a doctor right now, you can go see this Dr. Amike is taking patients at Brill's office, so you can go in and have an interview with him, and you can become a patient of his.
No, just something so I can tell people, because they're phoning their doctor and it's 4 months. You go to Brill's office and they say, have you got a doctor? Yeah, okay. So they're taking on new patients, but some of them ain't really taking on.
Yeah, no, most of them are full, and the three that I had known that were still taking patients, at the beginning of every month are no longer taking patients, they are full. And I think, I mean, that's nothing we can do about it where we're at. I mean, people are finding trouble getting into a doctor wherever they go, and now we're taking patients, who knows where we're taking, Stetler are coming here to try to get a doctor. Everybody wants a doctor. And
So how many doctors could we absorb?
I don't think we can have any more by HS standards. I mean, for the population of 6,000 in Wainwright, and I mean, we've got a pretty good fold of doctors. We got 12, and you stayed at 9 are taking patients, and that's probably cracked in 3 years.
You're absolutely correct, but Bell's, they said, has roughly 5,000 patients.
I think she has a panel of 2,500 right now.
2,500?
Yeah. I do believe, I could be wrong. I think 900 is, most of them are 900 to 1,000 plus.
That just covers 6,000 people.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying it's right or by any manner or means, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah. But we can't entice anybody else, nobody else is interested?
I don't think we're going down that. I mean, just for the size of the town, I mean, and the number of doctors we got, I think we're doing good in comparison to other communities. Like, I don't know how big Viking is, but they have 4 doctors.
Okay, any other questions?
No.
Good report, Bill.
Economic development, or no, Northern Lights?
Northern Lights has a conference in Edmonton, October 3rd and 4th. The board's yet decided how many are gonna go. We had a meeting by Zoom, but I was away at the landfill conference, so I missed it. I apologize. I can get the minutes and give you something next month. I should have called you.
Okay. Wainwright Economic, Wainwright, what are you doing? Okay. Okay, anything else under reports? Can I get a motion to approve as presented, please? Okay, Bruce? All in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, we got a couple of closed sessions, so we need a motion to go in camera.
Yeah.
Oscar? All in favor? Okay, anybody that doesn't need to be here, please leave.
Association? Is that the term?
Yes.
The Arm Lake Campground, managers?
As per section 30 of the agreement.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Okay, moved by Mike. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, carried. Anything else to come before the meeting? Motion to adjourn. Bruce, thank you very much. And we are done.